standing?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Changed my mind. Nope. It's kind of, it feels all right. I just don't know how it would sound if I like decide to sit down halfway through.
I remember doing my like senior exit. You had to go and like talk in front of the class or whatever.
Oh, I didn't have to do that.
Oh, I did. It was like
or maybe I just didn't
30-minute script or 20-minute script.
I might have not went to school that day.
Good for you. But it was like a requirement to graduate. I remember sitting there, like my mom showed up, and the entire time I'm talking, I'm just going like back and forth, and she's like, "You are way nervous when you talk in front of people." She's just like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go and do this when I get older, and like this." So I'm not a stander. Yeah,
I get it. I mean, that goes perfect with what we're talking about. Like, I talk to people about stuff that they're doing for the first time all the time. Like, I help guys at the gym, or that I work out with, or you see guys in the gym who are like, "Wow, he's a beginner." You can really tell, right? So that's okay to be the beginner, but when someone says, "Hey, man, do you mind if I help you with that? Or could I show you? Do you mind if I show you something?" And they're like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, I've been doing this for like a year, dude.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Like, okay.
Enjoy.
Don't snap your arms off.
Yeah. Your labrum's going to be torn, but have fun.
Yeah, have fun. Have fun with those injuries when you're 27 because you're only 19 and you're not. But anyways, being a beginner is super cool, right? There's no expectations. You can kind of have a little bit less responsibility, but that's kind of not what we're talking about when it comes to the fire service and beginner's mind. Like when you tell somebody, "Oh, I'm a beginner, I don't know anything," like that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
What we're kind of talking about is when you are faced with a novel experience, like you've never had this experience before, like all house fires, basically, for all intents and purposes, they're similar. Mm-hmm. But they're never precisely or exactly the same scenario.
Right.
Because there's so many conditions, there's so many things, they're all kind of different.
Yeah.
Weather, so many factors that make each house fire significantly different, yet pretty similar to all the other ones.
Yeah.
Right?
You could do 100 house fires, and the one that is a same house, same layout as every other one, but is a hoarder house, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about beginner's mind. Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
I'm Ben.
And together we are Priority Traffic Podcast.
Today we're talking about the beginner's mindset and everything that goes in. This is the second one I messed up.
It's a beginner thing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm new.
First day. No worries, brother. And that's exactly what this is about. Like, we are live. You made a mistake. I'm okay with it. The audience is going to be okay with it. We're not making millions of dollars with this production, so we're not going to stop. We're not going to re-edit it.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Producer's going to fire me for sure.
Right?
It's a wrap.
This has been fun. Producer.
It's been fun. Bye, guys.
Right. So, like, what we're talking about today is beginner's mind. And you're right. It's a mindset, but it's also a concept. And this concept, it comes from this book that I have here. It's called Shoshin. It's a Zen Buddhist concept. We're not Zen Buddhists. I've read and tried to integrate some fashions and portions of the Buddhist lifestyle. Mm-hmm. By no means am I a Buddhist or a practicing Buddhist, but I like a lot of the thought process.
I dated a girl that was a Buddhist.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Not bad.
Did you give you the booty? Uh-oh.
Can't kiss and tell.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we're going to make a recommendation for a book right off the bat. First thing, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. If you're interested in anything Buddhist, controlling and understanding how your mind works and why it's so chaotic sometimes, and eliminating some suffering, making your life a little better because you're not the one worrying and anxious about things all the time. This is a really good place to start. It's what led me into studying and researching Zen and Zen Buddhist type thoughts. So Zen Buddhism by Suzuki. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. We'll drop a link in the show notes and y'all can go check it out, read it, and put it to use.
Yeah, looks like a pretty cool book.
Yeah,
just reading the back there for the first time. It's pretty good.
So let's just say...
And it's not long, so if you are just like a beginner reader, probably a pretty good read.
Yeah, don't be afraid to try something new.
Yeah, it's not a Harry Potter book. You can finish this one pretty quick.
Yeah, and you could always go on like YouTube or Audible and get the book if you want to listen to it.
Have Suzuki read it to you. That'd be interesting.
I don't know if he's reading it, but it's definitely worth checking out. Right. So how does beginner's mindset and the fire service intersect? Why does a firefighter care about beginner's mind? This sounds like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo.
There could be a million different ways to answer this. I mean, you can talk about first day on the job, first day at a fire, first day at a crazy car accident, first day using a new tool, first day at a new department. You could have 10 years on, but you go and restart somewhere. No one wants to hear about any of your prior experience because you're new.
Yeah.
So this goes deep into the fire service.
Sure.
Like almost every day you have to have a beginner's mindset, but then you fall back on what you know.
I think that's important that you pointed out because we're not trying to say, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Help me, I'm drowning.
Yeah, every day is my first day. No, don't be that guy.
Right. Don't be that guy. But you can still have a mindset that says when I approach a problem, I'm thinking about it and I'm kind of taking what I know of my previous experiences and I'm letting them create a better solution for this scenario or issue, but I'm not letting it guide me and autopilot me through, this is just like every other house fire we've been to, blow the door and you fall right into the basement, right?
Right, yeah. Like, yeah, you missed a little smoke.
Right. It's the subtle things that you'll overlook when you think you already know the answers all the time, right? Because no problem is always the same. Like math problems are one and one is two, right? That's going to be always that way forever. But at the end of the day, having an expert amount of knowledge doesn't mean that you shouldn't hold a mindset that keeps you in the open realm, open to possibilities, open to novel and creative solutions to whatever it is you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it's like having that one guy that you're like, oh man, I really wish he was on scene. Like maybe he's your ropes and knots guy, or your guy has been there for 30 years and maybe you have a problem with the truck, but he's been a DE for a while or apparatus operator. Yeah. And he's like, I know so-and-so would figure this one out.
Right.
You know? But you only know like put in a pump gear, put in drive.
Right.
You know, hopefully
your experiences are a little limited.
Yeah. Compared to what somebody else might have. Right.
And at that exact point, you can just start being creative, right? Also, like, wow, what else could I do to solve this problem? And if you've come across a problem that's pretty typical, like try and solve it a different way. Yeah. Like we've tried this way. Maybe we go through the lock instead of blowing it off the hinges. Yeah. Maybe we check a window. Maybe, right? There's always a couple ways to, unfortunately, skin a cat, right? But that's not always the most, I don't know what you'd call it, politically correct way.
PC?
Yeah. We don't skin cats. But there's more than one way to cook a hot dog. I don't know if that was any better.
I don't know either. I've never heard of that in my entire life.
I mean, people boil them.
That's disgusting.
I'm just telling you, there's more than one way.
Oh, trust me, I know. There's guys that boil them at work.
Really?
Yeah.
They eat hot dogs at work?
Chili dogs. Oiled hot dogs with some chili out of a can.
Wow.
Yeah. You know who you are.
So we go from chili out of a can to like, what would you say if I asked you to be the eternal student of the craft? And let's call it the firefighter, fire service, the craft, being firefighter, firemanship. Like, what would that mean to you if I said be the eternal student?
I think taking on this job, you already kind of fall in that position. Truly.
Okay, explain that.
I think being the eternal student is a lot like what you said. There's a million different situations. We're put in a position where we are solely problem solvers. Every situation we have, you might have a car accident or rollover. They might be down in a ravine. So you never dealt with one that was in a ravine. It might be one that's on a hill. It might be icy. It might have every airbag going off, or it might have the car alarm, might still be running, it might be on fire. Like,
right.
You learn about every different problem every single day.
When it's a problem.
Sure. And a lot of times when you are new, or even when you have, a lot of times throughout your entire career, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark. I mean, I got 8 years in this and I learn new things from people every single day.
Sure.
Because of their past experiences that don't mesh up with mine, but they deal with a situation differently than I would. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's worse.
Different.
But right. As long as it still gets the job done, you obtain their information and you still have yours.
Right.
And you learn every single day with this job, no matter what you do.
Sure. And so that would be you adopting a beginner's mindset where you're open to learning.
Yeah.
Like we were in a training a couple weeks ago, and I was learning about the Rescue 42s, and I had an opportunity to like act like I knew what I was doing. And I said, I don't really, like I'm no expert at these. So I said, I'm not sure what to do here.
Yeah.
How about we talk about it, or you show me or give me direction and teach me? Like I will allow you to teach me what you know. So then before I open my big mouth and say something stupid, I can take what he's got, my previous limited experience, and build it. And then next time I've got a little more to go off of. But I was, instead of trying to walk around knowing it, I was not knowing, right? And I was open to learning from everyone and anyone teaching. Like I was in there, I was putting my hands on things. I was operating the struts and functioning. And I might have messed up. I probably messed up once or twice. We're training. So that's the place to mess up.
Exactly.
Right. Mess up in training all the time until you get it perfect and then stop messing up.
Yeah.
But I was willing to learn. I was willing to be the fool.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be the expert.
That's good. That's where you should be.
Right. And I think we should all cultivate a life and a mindset that leads us to being okay, being lifelong learners. And that's kind of what I call it, is just being open to learning from all sorts of people all the time.
And is that a part of that is like kind of checking your ego in?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ego is huge, right? Ego's a thing. It happens. It's real. People deal with it, struggle with it. It makes them do weird things. They behave certain ways.
Yeah.
But just realizing that people are going to judge you all the time for everything, always.
Yeah.
Don't let it affect you. You can't stop it. You can only control what you do. So do your best. And if you are going to do something new, just you're a beginner. Be okay. Oh, made a mistake. Well, give me your hand. I'm going to chop your head. We're not going to chop your hand off.
Yeah.
Right.
Not Granted, here. Not in America.
Mistakes can get people killed in the fire service, and we're not trying to even promote the lack of training or what's it called?
No.
When you get complacent, right?
Yeah.
We're not promoting that at all, but we're talking about a mindset of experiencing things as if it was the first time and trying to absorb something new, something subtle, something you didn't catch the last time.
Yeah.
Like if you can squat 315 pounds, really good for 10, or let's just say really good for 1. Well, cut it in half and squat it better. Right. Be okay dropping the weight, dropping the intensity. Go slower, do it better, and you're going to get better in the long run.
Yeah, in the long run.
Right.
And that's what I think a lot of people need to go and check their ego when it comes to the beginner mindset and understanding that they don't know every little detail about even
everything.
Just a small thing.
Sure.
Right. Like how many times have you been in a class where it's like officer 1, instructor, hazmat, whatever.
Sure.
Like you're in a class, somebody's up front, they're teaching, and you're sitting there. It might be a 6-hour day, and you're like, let's just get this day going. You got that one SOB that raises his hand, like, well, when I did this, and like he always has something else to add to it.
Sure.
Always has something to add to it. Well, this is the way I do it. Well, when my department did this, well, I've seen this, and this will be, hey man, like you're in a class, you're here to learn. Okay.
Right.
Like let the instructor teach. Nobody wants to hear your side of the story.
Right. Not right now. Right.
So we're all trying to learn from one guy. And I know you want to show that you're like seen this before, or like you've been here, or you have experience, but like keep that to yourself. Like check your ego. Let the guys talk.
Yeah.
Like, this is his
It's
stage.
not about you at this point in time.
Yeah, we're here for him.
Right. And he's here for us, and he's not paying you to talk.
Yeah. He doesn't care about your story.
Right. Exactly.
He knows you're the best, but put your hand down.
Yeah. So in this book, there's a really good quote, and it starts the book, right? It's Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. He says, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few. I'll read that again. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few. It's heavy.
Well,
yeah. Does that kind of encapsulate what beginner's mind is a little differently now that we've been talking about it for a few minutes?
Yeah. That's a pretty good quote.
Right. And it's in the book. I didn't steal it.
Yeah.
I said it out loud.
Yeah. Street cred to the book.
Street cred to the book. Right. Beginners are open to learning.
Yeah.
Like, and they call it beginner's mind because as an infant, you are unconditioned. You are pure,
Mhm.
right? Babies are pure. They don't have judgments. They don't have preconceptions of things. They don't have anxiety or depression or right. They're just are. They just is the way they is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they say being a beginner is like being an infant. And as you go through your day and you experience novel things, they kind of talk about looking at it like a child, like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it was just like a dog.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I do
kids
that to dogs.
value novel things more than we do because we've seen them over and over and over. It's kind of like finding the magic in the moment of ordinary things.
Yeah, seeing an airplane fly by that's low, and the kid's like, "Wow, Dad, look at that airplane!" Like,
yeah,
and you'll see about 10,000 more.
Yeah, I
of
know.
those.
What are they poisoning me with?
Right.
Yeah, so it's kind of about reframing the way we experience our day.
Okay.
And it allows us to find, again, subtle, hidden things in the lessons that we're learning or the skills, right? Like, again, with the 42 thing, like if you put this certain clip a certain way, it's going to work better if we have to add the raising arm to it. But if you do it the wrong way and put the raising arm on and now it's pinned and we're in the middle of an emergency maneuver,
it's stuck.
Right. Yeah.
It's useless.
Stuck. It's useless. Now you have to like start all over. So it's the small things that you can start to notice when you're curious or you're not like, I've done this before. I don't need to do this. I'm not going to do this training. I'm beyond it. I know it. I memorized it.
Right.
I basically wrote the book. You've already checked out. You're too good to be a part of the training. So you just don't have to participate.
Yeah.
I mean, negativity, there's no room for negativity, but it's kind of good for you to get your hands on it. And even the experts have to play with the stuff that build the basics.
Yeah. I trust a guy that's going through the trials and tribulations next to me who just found out about it, but learned along the way versus a guy that says he's good and didn't touch it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not going to do it today, you probably didn't join the training last time or the last time. Right. So guess what? You'll probably just stand by and watch us do it when it happens the first time. Because
they're not going to call on you.
Yeah. You're not going to get involved. Right. You won't know what to do because you haven't touched it since the last time you decided not to.
Yeah. The struts are weird too.
Dude.
Stay on top of that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm actually hoping to get more training on vehicle stabilization and like extrication because I'm on the Engine 6 has got all that equipment on it.
Okay.
Right. So that's our
specialty truck.
Yeah. It's a specialty sort of.
Should be the man then.
That's right. That's my goal. Like I'm on that truck. I want to know those tools and I want to know their limitations, their abilities, and I want to be able to be creative with them too.
There you go.
Right now it's like just an A-frame. Like we need to do different things. Like how else could I use these tools without anything going wrong, but in a novel and creative way?
Yeah.
So you got to be open to that experience. Like that's kind of like beginner's mind too, to see solutions that aren't the typical.
Yeah.
Like you got a hammer, you got a nail, but what are you like? Obviously whack, but now you got a hammer and the problem isn't the nail. You got a different thing. Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You
make it work.
Right. You got to find a way to make that type of stuff work.
Be a problem solver, be creative.
Right. What happened?
I don't know.
Well, we'll figure it out. Did the camera die?
No.
All right.
I don't think. I see a little volume thing going.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and we're back. Thanks for being patient with us. So let's get down to it. Beginner's mind is a pretty big thing. You can utilize it to get better, to start learning. And it kind of takes a little bit of, it definitely makes you put your ego down, right? Or else it's going to take a hit. And you have to risk that. You have to risk getting something wrong once in a while and being okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, well, I was wrong. My bad.
Yep.
Cool. I learned it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think everybody's going to have to make the self-adjustment that you are an infant when you do anything new. And you said, like, that's how you got to look at your life is you're this infant running around. Well, say you're using the jaws of life for the first time. You're a baby. Sit there, learn, be patient, be quiet. And then the 100th time you do it, sit there, learn, be patient, be quiet, because there's always new things coming out, right? Until it's the day that you're sitting there and you're instructing everybody, that's when you can go and flex your muscles and show everybody what you know. And hopefully it's a ton because you sat there through the 100 lectures beforehand about what you needed to learn.
Sure. So to add to that, as that instructor, so now I'm turning the tables. So now that instructor should have a beginner's mindset and be open to learning something from the people he's teaching, right? So we talked about the eternal student. Like you're always going to be a student of the craft, right? In order to become the master, you must be the student.
Yeah.
But the master has to remain the student. Like being open. The master is the student is the master. So this has been Beginner's Mind, and hopefully we left you with some brief knowledge, not too many questions, but if you have questions, check out Zen Mind Beginner's Mind by Suzuki. You can find it at all your video YouTube place and on Audible,
Amazon, whatever you want.
Wherever you can find it. I'll put a link in the show notes, and we're going to wrap this episode up. It's been a pleasure to chat with you guys about some cool stuff. And this is Chris.
I'm Ben.
And together we are Priority Traffic Podcast.